Alright, so for this example, suppose I borrow $200,000 loan. And suppose I get 4% interest for 30 years. The question is, maybe, what is my payment? So over here, I'm going to type in 200,000. And over here, so I'm going to put in my interest, 0.04. Now here's the important part. Come over here, make sure you type in interest, and make sure you hit equal, or enter. Okay, now whatever's in that box will be interest. I will just reference interest, and that's how I'm going to do it. So, and then over here, do payment. But now, on the other videos, I've showed you one other method. I'm going to show you another method here that is maybe a little easier. So we go to formulas, financial, and then PMT. The rate is the interest divided by 12 because it's monthly interest. There's 360 payments, 360 months and 30 years. And the present value is, now this is important, negative $200,000. That means my payment is going to be $954.83 a month. So here I'm going to go equals this guy times parentheses 1 plus interest divided by 12. Okay. So that's for 1 month. That's how much interest I'm going to be. So that's the total amount plus interest, and then minus payment. Now I got to be careful because I messed that up. So I'm going to redo that. I didn't name this payment. I'm going to name payment. Hit enter. So I'm going to come back into here, and where it says H1, delete that. I'm going to hit payment. Okay. So it should show that amount. Now if you take this thing here and drag it down to 361, the first one doesn't count. That was just that was like 0. At 361, you're equals $0. Okay, so it's perfect. You paid it off exactly. Now, how much went to principal that first month? Well, it's the difference between the initial amount and the next month. So $288 went to principal. The rest of your money, this amount here minus that, went to interest. So if you highlight those two and double click here, well, I said it should work. You should be able to double click it, but otherwise drag all the way down, and you can see that each month you can see how much went to payment, how much interest, how much went to principal each month. Okay, so that's the game. And that's how you do these all of these loan problems. There's really nothing to them. Okay, and if you follow that gist of it, then it doesn't matter. Okay, so the next house you're going to buy is a $100,000 house instead. Okay, well, now my payment's different, but all I have to do is change that to negative 100,000. Okay, but maybe my interest changed. Now it's only 5%. Now everything updates because I was using interest already in this formula. Okay, this already updates because I was already using interest and payment in this formula. It's all done. Okay, and one slightly fancier way to do this is if you put negative A1 right here. Because now all you have to do is update this. Boom, done. Everything changes now. It's all automatic. And once you see this formula sheet, then you're like, oh, I can do any loan like this. Now, how much did you pay in interest over the life of the loan? Well, one way you can figure that out. One way you can figure it out, there's a couple of ways. You could sum up the interest column. That's one way to do it. You paid $74,000 in interest, but you only borrowed $80,000, which means you must have paid $150,000 total. Or you can take equals the payments times 360, and there's $150,000, just like we said it should be. Okay, so lots of ways to do it. Whichever one makes you happy. Well, a couple ways to do it. Whichever one makes you the happiest. Notice that as time goes on, I'm paying more toward the principal and less toward the interest. Okay. As a lot of you know, that you can deduct your interest every year. So here is, right there, that's 12 numbers, right? I just added up. So that first year you would have paid $3,900 in interest, and you can deduct that on your taxes. So this is one example in this class that you're going to do that's a real life deal. That won't always happen. Now everything we're going to do in this class is totally applicable for your real life. This one is.